Good evening. This is Crime Classics. I am Thomas Hyland with another true story of crime. Listen. King Arthur just buckled on his kneecap. Now the quishes, the folds, and observes himself in his brilliantly polished shield. The new leg armor he has just put on is a fine fit. Provides maximum maneuverability. Now the chest armor. Breastplate. Neckpiece. He tucks helmet under his arm, picks up Excalibur, his sword, and walks from his tent into the sunlight. King Arthur is going into a battle against a friend of his. 4,000 men will be killed over a woman, which is known as chivalry. Tonight, my report to you on the triangle on the round table.
Crime Classics, a series of true crime stories from the records and newspapers of every land, from every time. Your host each week, Mr. Thomas Hyland, connoisseur of crime, student of violence, and teller of murders. Now, once again, Mr. Thomas Hyland.
Sixth century Britain, a time of myths and legend, of hunting horn and streaming banners and maidens and thistle, of sunlight slanting like a tapestry into cold castles, and pagan rites and magic and stone. And the place that concerns us, Camelot, the court of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. There's just been a meeting. On the agenda, a report from Lancelot why he failed in his quest for the Holy Grail. A report by Sir Galahad on why he'd killed a scurvy knave, a reason being a look askance at Lady Vivian. And finally, a suggestion by Sir Percival that a party be sent to slay the 7 wicked knights at the Castle of Maidens. It was a fine meeting, and it was breaking up in time for some mock jousting. King Arthur was anxious to get out on the field.
King Arthur, tarry. I would speak with you a moment.
Agravain, nephew, what is it?
But a moment tarry, uncle, till the rest of the gentle knights are gone from the great hall. Sir Lionel, would you close, please, the great door when you leave us? Now, uncle.
But your cousin Mordred is still with us. I think he slept at the round table and is sleeping still. Mordred. Wake. Wake, gentle knight. Wake.
Mordred and I both wish to speak, uncle.
Huh? Of what?
Are you awake, Mordred?
I was awakened by the touch of the sweet king.
Speak to me of what, Agravain?
Of Launcelot.
Oh?
And Guinevere.
What is this?
Since he is back from the failure, since he has returned without the Grail, Launcelot is much with the Queen.
In the Queen's chamber.
What falsehood is this?
No falsehood, good king. Gentle king. The truth. I'll swear on the hilt of my sword.
And I also.
But Guinevere the Queen is with me constantly.
Save when you hunt.
Save when you joust.
Save when you do the merry pie with us all.
Yes.
That is when Lancelot attends your queen.
When you hunt.
When you joust.
When you do the merry pie with us all.
And, king.
What is it?
If Lancelot be slain in the chambers of the queen, what then?
A province to the south I'll give to such a slayer.
Good uncle.
Sweet king.
Traitor knight! Can't you thus with king's lady? Have at you! Oh, traitors, Launcelot! Halt and take his wretch! Spies! Adam! Vipers! I give you this, Agravain! And now to you, Mordred.
Hold, good night. Put up your sword.
Yes, to your throat, thus.
Do not slay me.
What a sniveler you are, cousin.
Do not kill me.
To sneak like a crawling thing and spy.
I have forgotten what I have seen. You and Guinevere.
Say my lady's name again, and your tongue will be fed to my lady's goldfish. Now get from here. Go!
Mordred didn't walk away, nor did he skip. He ran. He told the king that in case Sir Agravain wasn't around anymore, that worthy could be found dead in Guinevere's anteroom from a sword blow delivered by Launcelot. King Arthur, who'd had a bad day at the mock jousts anyhow, having been unseated by a lucky lance thrust, well, this is all he needed.
Oh, my queen. What poisonous thing has bited you? You'll die for it. Roast. Gawain! Sir Gawain, come to me. And hark to me, Sir Gawain.
I hark.
It's Guinevere.
Again.
Hark to me.
Sir Launcelot.
Hark to me, Gawain.
The whole court knows it. Now you know it. And you wish her burned at the stake, as it has been 3 times before. But you will forgive her.
Hark to me.
But you will forgive her.
Not this time.
You say that always.
I will feed her to the flames.
And Launcelot.
He is my dearest knight.
How can you say that?
He is dear friend to me.
But he and Guinevere...
She is so beauteous that he cannot help it.
I counsel you to burn him also.
This is your counsel, noble knight.
'Tis.
Then it shall be done. So to it.
When Launcelot heard the news, he didn't wait for a thing. He left. He didn't even say goodbye to Guinevere. Not that he didn't love her, for this he did dearly. But he had a more spectacular plan. He waited for the day when Guinevere was shriven and tied to the stake, and the faggots were thrown and lit. And King Arthur's knights and the people were standing on tiptoes to watch. Then Launcelot and his men went into action. They did a very dramatic thing. Just as a wisp of flame had touched Guinevere's linen, they swooped down and rescued her, killed some 50 people in the process, and rode away with her. Rode away with her. She up front with Launcelot on his horse.
Launcelot, Launcelot.
And with him set up house in Launcelot's castle, which was called the Joyous Bastion, after the good times which were had there.
Launcelot, Launcelot.
My queen.
Not your queen, your love.
Forever.
For always. For as long as yon orb of sun climbs in the sky and... Launcelot.
My love. My love.
Tarry, sweet knight, and give look to where I point, to where yon orb of sun climbs in the sky.
Horsemen.
Knights.
King Arthur's knights of the Round Table.
I chill at the sight.
Oh, chill not. Nothing will befall you. Never will the king take you from me.
And a little while after that... War, siege, clang of armor, yell of battle, and scream of alarum. Many knights died, and many were wounded and borne away. And after a month, the papal bull was issued, which said that the war between Arthur and Launcelot was a war of brothers, and it was to cease. And Guinevere was to be brought again into the favor of Arthur. Launcelot went back to France. Guinevere went back to Arthur. And everybody was happy. Until one day...
If I offend, O king, by being not announced, but burst upon you like some squall of wind, it is because I've had a dream, and in it... O king. O king.
Rise up, Mordred. Speak you.
And in this dream, a mighty voice, Lancelot sits in France, said the voice, and makes plans to come here and make battle and win again the Lady Guinevere.
What voice has told you this?
The voice of my father.
And so wise, your father, and sweet. Ere he died a mystic death on the stoop of Lady Bernice.
Sweet father. And he said, tell your king, tell the noble King Arthur to get him to France with all his noble knights and make pursuit of Lancelot. Seek him, feared him, slay him.
He has said this.
Nodding his head, he said it.
Gawain, come to me, Gawain. You have heard what says Mordred, Gawain.
I heard.
What say you?
My father wept when he told me what he did, wept for the death of your two boys, Gawain, who fell in battle against Lancelot.
Your father,
Compassionate man.
what say you?
But stalwart sons who can never be again, sir boy.
I say go.
Oh, brutal day.
At once,
I say go.
Oh, day of blood.
to France. Let there be war. Let the killing start. To France. To war.
Sir Mordred was a bloodthirsty one, wasn't he? But he didn't get to go to France. Somehow he made King Arthur make him stay home to watch Camelot, to watch Britain, to watch Queen Guinevere.
You are listening to Crime Classics and your host, Thomas Hyland. A too much traveled traveling man, a wife who is not what she seems, and a meek husband are the leading characters of this Friday's Broadway's My Beat mystery. They lead Detective Danny Clover quite a chase before he makes sense out of murder. Friday evening on most of these same CBS radio stations. And now once again, Thomas Hyland and the second act of Crime Classics and his report to you on Triangle on the Round Table.
Camelot, which was the site of King Arthur's court and round table, has been variously located at Queen's Camel, Somerset, 51 miles east-northeast of Rochester, and at Winchester and Camelford, Cornwall, and at Caerleon. In your Sunday supplement recently, you might have seen where Sir Malcolm Jeddifer, FRCA, has tossed a blockbuster by announcing Camelot's location as being 20 miles out at sea, on land now sunk beneath the waves. But wherever it was, Camelot was the place to be if you wanted to become a knight. It was best to start at about the age of 7. There was so much to learn. Manners, morals, battle axe technique, mace wielding, emergency armor repair, lance throwing, jousting, mock and for real, rescuesmanship, horsemanship. Mostly you had to be a killer. One graduate of the curriculum who went through it like a whiz, skipping, as it were, the course in advanced morals, was named Mordred. His king was away at war. His queen was in her chambers. And he was at his desk, putting quill to parchment, writing up a pronouncement to the people.
This should do, Sir Beaufort. Here, read it.
To the Parliament and people of Britain, word
As you would proclaim it, Beaufort.
been received this dolorous day that is fallen in battle King Arthur, most illustrious and bravest of kings.
Is true, Mordred? Go on.
Even as Sir Gawain died in battle, bravely and...
It's true about Gawain, surely.
For his body dead was carried here to Camelot to be buried. A king. King Arthur.
Put your tongue to what is writ.
Bravely and with no fear of dying. Therefore I, Mordred, do proclaim myself king and regent of Britain, as was the wish of the fallen Arthur. I do humbly pray that the knights and good people of the realm help make my reign a blessed one.
I get you to your task. Proclaim it.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, O noble king.
Noble knight.
Yes.
Have you seen the gentle Guinevere?
When last I saw her, she was moving toward her chamber.
How moving?
With lilt, with grace, with queenly demeanor.
Go. Go proclaim, sweet Bohort.
Noble king.
I fright you, Guinevere?
What man are you to come on bed here?
I am your king.
King? What?
Arthur is dead. We will hear it proclaimed.
How do you have this knowledge that Arthur is dead? No ship from France has come with tidings of battle in a fortnight.
I dreamed it. My father in a dream has told me.
You make good use of your father's ghost, cousin.
He is noble. Your dead husband Arthur has always said that. And as a ghost, my father is more noble and more wise.
Mordred,
Yes?
you are a subtle beast.
I sheathed my claws for you, dear Guinevere. Dearest Guinevere.
No.
Dearest Guinevere.
Near me now, and with this golden knife,
Oh, who is the beast, Guinevere?
I will. I'll stick you. I'll strive to kill you for honor's sake.
You beast of golden claw, you.
Now, we all know that Mordred was not mortally hurt, nor was he even badly hurt. He healed nicely and quickly enough to pursue Guinevere, who had taken refuge in the Tower of London. Mordred caused arrows to be shot at the tower battlements. He caused pots of molten flame to be catapulted into the depths. He caused stout oaken battering rams to be plunged against its doors. He caused all sorts of things to be done according to his personal code of how to behave in love. But, as we all know, too, the Tower of London was built to last, and he never got past the first moat. As a matter of fact, he was a little bit on this side of the first moat when Sir Bohort, the proclaimer, came running up to him. And when Bohort ran, something was wrong.
Something wrong, O king.
What?
At Dover, a grievous sight.
What?
The fleets of King Arthur.
And what?
The tallest ship flies his banner. He is alive.
Curse to my father.
The ghost of your father lied. Arthur is alive.
The ghost of my father plays tricks.
What will you do?
Proclaim to my knights that Arthur comes again. So more battle.
Blood. Blood, more blood.
The life of sweet knighthood.
Oh, would it were.
Silence.
Yes, O king.
Then proclaim this. War with Arthur. Killing to be done against those who deserted us and went to France. War and killing. Killing and war. No peace till Arthur is dead.
Look down there, Sir Bedivere. Look how sadly burn the fires of mine enemy, Mordred.
Like blood in the night.
He met me on the sands of Dover and fled before my knights.
And left 2,000 dead.
Of his and 2,000 good men of mine. Oh, sad night. Oh, tortured night of red moon and war fires and enemies. Eve of death. And dying to be done again tomorrow.
Noble king.
Go from me. Take your tears from me, sweet knight. Sleep. For tomorrow
I go.
Eve of death. Dim, weird night and the sudden shock of dismal thoughts. How was it when there was peace in Camelot? When there was golden youth and flood of laughter? Now how old appear the young faces. Ghosts, all of them. Where the good fellowship, the darts of joy? Ghosts. Ghosts dead. And where is Gawain? Noble Gawain, where your counsel now, Gawain? The earth of France drank deep your blood. Now you a ghost too. Gawain, friend Gawain, noble friend, where your counsel now? I hear madness on the wind. The grief for Gawain drives me mad.
Father, noble king.
Ghost? Ghost of Gawain?
List to me. Disperse your forces.
What?
Do not fight tomorrow, for if you do, Mordred will kill you.
How kill me? The sniveler of a knight, the chicken of a knight, he the traitor and usurper.
Do not fight on the morrow, for Mordred will surely kill you. Make truce. Do not die. Do not die.
Now, that's a truly unnerving experience. A voice on the wind, a dead man's voice telling you you'll die tomorrow. That kind of a thing gives pause. You'd want to take your time about what you're going to do come sunup. Now, Arthur was a mighty king and a great warrior, and he'd killed more people by lance and mace and hot oil than you'd ever imagine, but he was also a human being. Voices on the wind shook him up. Ghosts jangled him.
Oh, weird night. Oh, ghostly wind.
You see? Then
Bedivere! Bedivere!
he needed to tell somebody.
This night I heard the ghost voice of Gawain. He bade me not do battle tomorrow, else I will die. So go to the camp of Mordred and say I wish to speak truce with him tomorrow.
And no sword will be drawn from its scabbard during this talk of truce, Arthur.
No sword shall be drawn, Mordred.
You pursue me, Arthur, yet I have beaten you. How?
I want no more dying.
Arthur of the sword. Arthur of Excalibur.
Truce and no more dying.
And what will you give for it?
Your life.
Oh, and more.
What more?
Cornwall and Kent while you are alive, and all of Britain when you are dead.
Cornwall will be yours, and Kent, and... Beware.
You draw a sword?
That adder at your feet, that crawling thing. I slayed it. It was about to attack your foot.
You drew a sword.
Was the adder... You see it?
You drew a sword. There is no truce, Arthur.
True. No truce with such as you. I return to my camp and bid my knights make ready for battle. And then I swear to you, you die. I swear to you, I will kill you. I swear to you.
It was a great battle, and history tells us that every man who died was a hero. And many died, and the field was damp with blood. And on the fourth day, those who were still alive crept away to be alone with their wounds and their anguish, and the field was empty. But for two horsemen.
How about you, Mordred?
And you, Sir King?
You shall not now escape, traitor.
Your death has come, Arthur.
Yours!
Oh!
Die!
Oh!
Die, O infamous knight. Look down, Gawain. You were wrong. Mordred is... Vile knight, you have slain me.
And that's what Mordred did. He slew Arthur. Of course, Mordred died while he was doing it, but he did it. One more thing I'd like to report to you, what Arthur said while breathing his last. I could have found a woman as good as Guinevere, but such a fellowship of knights as was mine can never be brought together again. So, that was the end of King Arthur. Guinevere and Lancelot lived for quite a while after that.
In just a moment, Thomas Hyland will tell you about next week's Crime Classic. The Triangle on the Round Table, tonight's Crime Classic, was adapted from accounts and legends by Morton Fine and David Friedkin. The music was composed and conducted by Bernard Herrmann, and the program is produced and directed by Elliott Lewis. Thomas Hyland is portrayed on radio by Lou Merrill. In tonight's story, William Conrad was heard as King Arthur and Ben Wright as Mordred. Featured in the cast were Ellen Morgan, Lamont Johnson, William Johnstone, Edgar Barrier, and Bob Cole. Bob Lamont speaking. And here again is Thomas Hyland.
Next week, England in 1827, and the road from Polstead to London. And a bloody road it turned out to be. My report to you will be on the killing story of William Corder and the farmer's daughter. Thank you. Good night.
Imperfect minor details mar a perfect crime on Gangbusters this Saturday night. Past Perfect tells the story of ingenious cross-country identity ruse involving a Halloween souvenir and two would-be bandits with the law. It's another true crime case history, dramatized by Gangbusters on most of these same CBS radio stations this Saturday night. When there's Gunsmoke, there's Western Adventures, Saturday night on the CBS Radio Network.
Good evening. This is Crime Classics. I am Thomas Hyland with another true story of crime. Listen. That's a cricket, a Suffolk County cricket, and he's chirping away at a merry pace. Therefore, he's a male cricket, for among crickets, only this sex can chirp. At the present moment, this particular fellow happens to be in a hayloft in an English barn. The year is 1827, and it's spring, and it's evening, and it's warm. And if you're going to be a cricket, now is the time, for the hay lies sleek against your antenna. Oh, my, yes. Dead cricket. 120 pounds of country girl just fell on him. Girl's name, Maria Martin, and she was a dead weight. So tonight, my report to you on the killing story of William Corder and the farmer's daughter.
Crime Classics, a series of true crime stories from the records and newspapers of every land from every time. Your host each week, Mr. Thomas Hyland, connoisseur of crime, student of violence, and teller of murders. Now, once again, Mr. Thomas Hyland.
England in 1827 was between periods. A decade before, Napoleon had met his Waterloo, and a decade later, Victoria was to sit on the throne. True, in this year, which concerns us, the country was briefly stunned by the affair Laverie, which almost cost England the continent of Australia, until cooler heads and more honest bookkeeping prevailed. And when the shuttering was done and normalcy returned, people returned to normal pursuits, which included the young folk. For instance, Maria Martin, a giggler, 5'2", 120 pounds, pretty, demure, and the most chuckable chin in Falstead. Which chin-chucking was being done by William Corder.
Maria, Pinklin Maria.
Oh, you're the one, William, you are.
Twice over, Pinklin.
Oh, God.
Yes, you be. And sweet-smelling you are, too.
Oh, 'tis the hay you smell in the month of May.
In your dilly hair.
Oh, God. Oh, and just to think, William.
To think what?
All the seasons from now on, from May to December, and then start a new year, and all that year and the next.
What? What talk you?
For every month, for every season, you are mine.
Well, now, I have not said that, or perhaps sometimes...
What?
I want to go. I want to leave here. I want to...
Oh, your dilly mouth moves so sweetly and says nothing at all. You'll not go from me, William.
Oh?
Because you will marry me. You must marry me, William.
Must I?
Oh, yes, else...
Else what?
I will tell. I will tell what you did, William. I would.
Maria.
How you stole from my poor daddy.
Maria.
I cannot understand how his poor money was dug up and taken away.
Maria, I want to say a word.
And should I say what happened, the jail you would go, lad. Maybe hung. I heard in Ipswich they did a hanging recent to a lad which stole a heifer.
Maria, will you listen to me?
And I do so love you. A thiefling, but I love you.
Maria, will you marry me?
Oh, you've been trying to say it all the time.
Of course I have.
Of course you have.
Pinklin.
Oh, God.
I would like to read to you a description of William Corder as taken from a 19th century journal. He was about 5 feet 6 inches in height. usually affected a drab greatcoat, plaid lilac handkerchief, a black dress coat and blue pantaloons, and had rather a large nose, a small face, and a ring on the little finger of his right hand. That was William Corder. Of course, since this was spring and a warm one, he took off his drab greatcoat, especially on the evening when he left Maria and went home and sharpened a knife. Oh, he was a handy man. That's why he was so useful around the various farms in Paulstead. Everybody loved him. Everybody needed him. To mend a plow or stretch a thong, the cry went up, "Aye, Billy Corder!" This with smiling affection. And the next morning, when he went to the farm of his betrothed...
Aye, Billy Corder.
From Maria's father.
Hi, Billy Corder.
From her mother.
Good morning, William.
A morning to each of you.
You look worried, Billy. Come into the house and I'll tea you nice and with some dilly biscuits.
Now, Ma.
He looks weary.
Leave him be, Ma.
What you been doing, Billy?
A sharpening.
Oh, what a sharpening.
Knives for the farmers all about.
I'd give you a hand whenever you'd want, Billy.
Howdy-o. But I come this morning with another favor to ask.
Oh, my.
What favor, Billy boy?
Concerning...
Oh, my.
Concerning what, Billy boy?
My love, my pinkling, my dilly girl Maria.
I be losing her, Billy boy.
You be good to Billy, Maria.
Now, Ma.
Just be good to him, you hear?
Yes, Ma.
Then you be saying yes to what I'm asking?
I'm saying it.
Then, here's the thing.
Oh, a dowry thing, Well, since there was the stealing, since my poor money was dug by robbers, there's not very much I have.
But
I am a
Murray-
farmer, but my ground is clay and rocks.
And you are a mole catcher.
And I cannot run fast no more.
Come here to me, Billy.
Here I be.
But close as a mother to a son. Son.
Yes?
I have a farthing put aside for Maria and for you.
Oh, Taddy-o. And, there's a pistol I like so much in the parlor.
For what, a pistol?
Which I must have. Traveling as we are, Maria and me, to London for the marriage.
To London you go? To be wed?
Yes.
Oh, lad, oh, Billy, 'tis every girl dreaming. London to be married in.
You're my true love, Maria. Tonight I'll fetch you and we'll go down to London. Or better,
What better could there be?
the Red Barn. You know it. I'll meet you there at the crossroads.
Oh, whatever you say, love. Ain't he a love, Ma?
Oh, he's a love, all right. He's a real love.
What are we doing back in this dark barn, Willie? Why are we not off to London? I showed you the jewels I got from Ma, Willie. I made her give me the cameo necklace, too. Now, please, can't we go to London to be wed? I do so want to wed with you, Willie.
Maria. Maria.
You know what you are?
Oh.
Clumsy. That's what you are. I bring you Daddy's pistol like you asked, and what do? It goes off in your hand. Now let's off to London, Willie. It's a bride I'm dying to be. Willie, are you there? I can hardly see you, Willie. Where are you?
Here I am. The lovey,
Oh.
pink lips.
With the knife he sharpened last night. Then he carried Maria down from the loft into the empty corn room. He left her there for a moment and ran down the road a piece.
Evening. Can I borrow the use of a spade? Taddy-o.
And Billy Boy went back to the red barn, and there he dug a hole. 6 by 3 by 3. A put Maria in it and filled the hole again. And Billy took the high road to London. He also took the gun, the jewels, and the farthings. Not a care had he as he whistled his way down the road. For Maria's parents thought Maria was with him. And in London...
Step ye up, lads. I'm just a country bumpkin trying to make my way in London town. So step you up. Here we have it. Here's a pea and here's 3 shells from walnuts. I place the pea beneath the shell in the middle and move the shells about. Now, who's a brave lad? Who's a clever lad? Tell me under which shell is the pea. Oh, not for free, lad. For a wager. A pound? A pound. Now, watch your close. This one on the end? We shall see. Well, you lose. It was under this one in the middle. Now, let's try it again.
And in 6 months, William Corder had enough money to purchase a house and a bakery shop, a feather bed upstairs, a parlor beneath it, and beneath the parlor, bread and buns. He needed only one more thing. So he went to the newspaper and he inserted an ad.
Lady for matrimony he wanted. A private gentleman aged 24, entirely independent, whose disposition is not to be exceeded, has lately lost his family to the hand of Providence. If this meets the eye of any agreeable lady who feels desirous of meeting with a sociable, tender, kind, and sympathizing companion, they will find this advertisement worthy of notice. Honor and secrecy may be relied on. Mr. X, 68, Leadenhall Street. Here, sir, insert this in the next edition.
Sir,
At your service?
there was an advertisement.
At your service.
Are you the
Mr. X. I am he, if such as you are seeking him out.
The advertisement said sociable.
You were comely,
It said tender.
and your hair a shade of brown that will sweeten in the sunlight.
It said kind.
And hazel eyes.
It said a sympathizing companion.
How could such as fair as you need sympathizing?
Gentle me.
I kiss your hand.
Oh.
Pinklin.
That's how they did it in 1827. At least that's the way William Corder did it. Quite a handyman, wasn't he? The way he got rid of one girl and found another. And in his neighborhood, when a pipe needed mending or a bun baked, "Aye, Willie Corder," the cry went up. "Aye, Willie Corder."
You are listening to Crime Classics and your host, Thomas Hyland.
England's winter of 1827 was a mild one, except for the big blow of November 12th to 20th, which temporarily crippled the fleet. It was a season of cool freshets and sunny, bright days. Not all was peaches and cream, however. Because of the locust plague of that year, many people starved to death. Two, an unprecedented series of coal mine mishaps around Newcastle in December finally caused Louis Trini, a gazetteer of the day, to write, and I quote, "What with the fleets having to be refurbished, what with the cruel cries of the starving in the streets, and what with the shawled widows at the mines, this winter, though a gentle one, has been quite disastrous." We await spring, unquote. Well, spring came, and one of the nicest sights on an April day on Leadenhall Street in London was the new Mrs. William Corder. She would lean her head against her husband, and arm in arm they would stroll.
Willie.
It's the truth, every bit of it. When Wellington called for volunteers, I stepped out of their ranks and...
Willie.
It's the truth, Birdie.
I know it's the truth, Willie. It's just that my heart is thumping because you might have been killed.
Me?
Oh, Willie.
But, Birdie, I knew when I volunteered nothing was going to happen. I hadn't met you yet, and I had to live to do that, so...
What else?
Huh?
What else happened to you before you met me?
Well, before I met... Right before I met you, I was in Italy.
You said France. Willie.
Before France, I mean.
And the Italian women, what of them, Willie?
Oh, I didn't have no time to bother with them. I was on a secret mission.
Oh, Willie.
Now, don't you tell nobody.
Brave, Willie.
You happy, Birdie?
Happy as is happy do.
Happy do indeed.
Oh, yes. Willie,
Yes?
the jewels you're going to sell to my brother, how come you buy them?
By a gamble, a game of cards.
But they're a lady's jewels.
Then isn't it obvious, Duck? I gambled with a lady. Ain't you know her it were, while on secret assignment. Gabbed I was like a gypsy.
I would have lost to you, too.
Downy bird.
Oh.
Come.
How, sister? Hi, Willie Corder. Hi, lad.
Nonny, Brother Sidney?
Twice and go to grass, brother-in-law, for what luck you had at the cards last night. And, will we cheat me at this transaction, too?
Isn't he priceless, Brother Sidney?
He's a good brother-in-law.
But how good? What price will you give me for these jewels to add to your stock?
Middling good.
You see, wife, your brother becomes a haggler when it comes to money.
Be generous, Sidney. What you give us will buy a new oven.
£50.
Done.
For this cameo necklace alone. This other stuff, not worth a shocked farthing.
£50 then.
I'll write you out a check.
Daddy-o.
Good brother.
And of me?
A duck. A dilly duck. A love.
The very jewels Willie had stolen from the late Maria Martin. And you remember where Maria got them from. Her mother. And you remember her mother.
Maria writes such nice letters, Huey.
We can be proud. I never knew she could write.
I guess Willie Corder's taught her lots.
That's right. Mr. and Mrs. Martin were getting letters from Maria since the very first week she was away. Once every fortnight. For a year now. Letters written on scented stationery in a feminine hand by Willie Corder. Chatty letters having to do with the shops in London.
Oh, I'd like stroll Piccadilly myself sometime, in ribbons like my daughter Dee does.
Newsy letters about trials and tribulations of her married life.
What's your laugh?
Oh, come here and read this. Here.
I don't think that's very funny.
You wouldn't.
Warm letters.
Oh, isn't that a sweet thing she says here, Huey? I miss you, Ma, she says. I miss you, Pa, she says. And how's the farming, she asks. And how's the mole catching? And the field of my father's clay and rocks. Oh.
A good one. A likely daughter.
Only
Only what?
here she says, don't come to London, Ma, she says. Now, why would you say that?
Aggie,
What do you want?
Maria could not write when she left here.
She writes good now. Better than me. Ah, that Willie. Hey, Willie Corder, eh, lad?
Oh,
I frightened you, Will.
no. Oh, no.
What were you doing?
Writing?
Writing what?
Nothing.
Now.
Don't try to hide anything from me, Will.
Oh, Pinklin, I wouldn't do that.
Then what writing were you doing?
Promise not to tell.
What writing, Will?
Promise.
I promise.
Come here. See this?
The check my brother gave you.
Look again.
For £150.
Uh-huh.
But he gave you a check for only 50.
Uh-huh.
Then what you were writing...
I fixed the check. Oh, what a joke on your brother. Hey, hey, ha, hey.
Well.
Downy bird.
Forgery.
Not quite. Simply an extra £100. Clever.
Is it?
Clever. Clever, clever.
It is.
Isn't it?
What a one.
Who?
What a one. What a... Now, who could that be?
The tradesman, I think. Let's go to the window and see. The tradesman. And see what he has for us.
A new bed warmer.
A new quilt. A new feather quilt.
And a pillow. A new pillow.
And look down there. A new bed.
Oh, what a one. What a one you are. Oh, husband. Tradesmen, bring them in. Bring them all in. Everything.
And later on, they chuckled about what a wonderful joke he had played on his brother-in-law, Sidney. History does not record Sidney's reaction. It's true what Bertie said. What a one was William Corder, especially what a one he was with the quill. Not only had he taken up hiking checks, but he was still penning those letters I told you about. Only the scent had been changed.
This latest letter I have here, Hughie. Maria says, should I ever be so bold as to come to London, she would not receive me.
She never could write.
Oh, go to sleep, old man.
And according to court reports and testimony, this is what happened then.
Go on. Go to sleep, old man.
Then Mrs. Martin said she fell asleep, too.
Mm-hmm.
Then...
Ma? Ma? Don't be frightened, Ma.
Maria?
It's me, Ma.
Maria?
Oh, Ma, it's terrible.
What? What's terrible?
What's happened to me?
What's happened to you? Don't you like London?
I'm not in London.
Not in London. Not in London.
Aye, Aggie. Aye.
London? Not in London.
Wake up, Aggie. Put the tea to a bubble.
Not in... Oh, had me a fright, Hughie. A terrible, awful nightmare.
Tore the sheet you did. Now up to the tea lady.
Dreamt she wasn't in London. Dreamt...
Up to the tea lady. Up.
Yes.
And the next night...
I never got to London, Ma.
Where did you get to, Maria?
Hardly away from here.
You dead, Maria?
I be dead, Ma.
Oh.
I be dead. I be not far from here dead.
Where?
I be...
Wake, Aggie. Bubble the tea for me.
And on the third night...
in the red barn at the crossroads.
How come you're there?
He put knife to me and dug my grave.
In what place?
In the corn room, 3 feet down.
And Willie did that to you?
Willie did. You fix him, Ma. You fix him, you hear?
Hughie! Wake up! Wake up, old man! Wake up! Murder's done!
What?
Our daughter, dear. She lies 3 feet under the corn room in the red barn.
Oh, da, Jibby-da.
Maria told me. In a dream. In a 3-night dream, she told me, get shovel to you and dig! Up and get shovel to you!
He got up all right, and he got shovel to him, and together they went down to the red barn, and they dug. And they found a skeleton, and Mariah's shawl, and Mariah's shoes, and Mariah's dress. But the thing that clinched it, the thing that made them sure, the skeleton had the 4 front teeth missing in its lower jaw, exactly the 4 teeth that had been missing from Mariah's mouth when she was alive.
Police!
And again as she ran down the road toward Paulstead.
Police! Police! Police!
Which was finally heard by Constable James Lee, who viewed the body and rubbed his chin and took a trip to London, where he sought for and found William Corder, who was tried and found guilty. And a half hour before he was hanged, wrote a letter in his own hand on unscented paper, and, of course, signed in his own name.
Dear Birdie, good wife, I am fully aware of the shame and disgrace which I must have cost you. So that there be some vestige of pride remain, such as a woman should have for her husband, I suggest you bury me in the finest vestment obtainable, such as silk. My coffin, I do pray you, for your own sake, should be of mahogany, with moulding of silver. A cherubim on my tombstone of marble, with some fitting sentiment, such as, William Corder, of sweet and gentle memory, though not innocent of deed, I am innocent of heart. Goodbye, dear wife. Willem Corder.
On the scaffold, there was some embarrassment because the trap would not work. Corder, who was, you'll remember, a very handy man, fixed it. But after the trap was sprung, it took him 12 minutes to die. So he probably didn't do a very good job.
William Corder, tonight's crime classic, was adapted from the original court reports and newspaper accounts by Morton Fine and David Friedkin. The music was composed by Bernard Herrmann and conducted by Wilbur Hatch, and the program is produced and directed by Elliott Lewis. Thomas Hyland is portrayed on radio by Lou Merrill. In tonight's story, Richard Peel was heard as William Corder, Betty Harford as Mariah, Alma Lawton as Bertie, Jeanette Nolan as the mother, Joseph Kearns as the father, and Donald Lawton as Sidney. Gil Warren speaking.
This is the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.